So something funny that's been happening in the RL world today is we're starting to wonder whether or not RL is actually learning from the reward or just learning from experience. There's some recent results from University of Washington where they ran an RL run where they randomized the rewards. So good job, bad job was just random. But you just practice working on math problems and all of a sudden you still get better at math. And I think this idea of interacting with a specific domain emphasizes the model's prior capabilities in that domain. In some sense, the act of practicing, independent of the reward, is enough to start to elicit that mode in the prior that translates to that capability. And so this started to question whether or not RL is actually learning from reward or if it's just learning from experience. Ultimately, there's a lot of evidence to suggest that if you had enough training and your model could stably learn from reward for a long time, the reward should still unlock new capabilities. But again, a lot of the recent results where people go, I did a little bit of RL and I got new capabilities, might really have been, I did a little bit of practicing working with math. The reward signal itself may not have actually been that important. Yeah, so one of the theories emerging around why RL is able to unlock with very little interaction new capabilities is that everyone has been building off the Qwen 2.5 based model. And that model had in its training process probably significant exposure to long-term mathematical reasoning, complex thinking, the kinds of behaviors that we're then trying to elicit using reinforcement learning. What's interesting again is that if I just interact with the environment, I don't even need the reward signal. Just doing math, maybe incorrectly, still is enough to try to elicit that behavior from the pre-training corpus. Interestingly, when we apply that same method of RL to another model like the Llama series, we're unable to lift that capability. Again, suggesting that maybe the Llama model didn't have quite as much exposure. If we look at the Qwen 3 latest series of models, they actually say in the pre-training or mid-training process that they actually do additional training on this kind of reasoning process generated from the Qwen 2.5 model. So Qwen 2.5 synthetic data in mathematical domains is used in the training process, the pre-training and kind of mid-training process of the latest Qwen 3 models. So again, we'd sort of expect these models too have this kind of innate ability to do advanced reasoning. And so additional RL techniques are really probably just emphasizing what the model already had. Well, for a researcher, knowing the mix of training data will be pretty important. So when we say, oh, we did this, are we really just eliciting something the model already knew how to do but just wasn't prioritizing? Or are we actually teaching it something new? For people developing models, it means that if you want to teach the model to do something using RL, give it some examples first. It's not unlike a human. If I'm going to teach you by saying good job, bad job, it's helpful to show you what a good job looks like a few times first. And so again, this exposure through SFT or through direct supervised learning is really important to boosting that capability with RL in the future.